Alright, we're going to talk about how to create an equation of a line in slope-intercept form. And on this assignment, when you're writing an equation of a line, it'll tell you either to write it into slope-intercept form or standard form. And so standard form will be a different video, but in this case we're going to talk about how to do it in slope-intercept form. Of course, slope-intercept form is the form y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I always say is to always find your slope first. If you don't know what your slope is, then you should find your slope first. Now in this case, we actually know that the slope is 2. Okay, so we know our slope is 2. And what I'm going to do to get an equation is I'm going to use what's called the point slope form of an equation, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where y1 and x1 is the coordinate of an actual point that I know, and then of course m is the slope. So for this particular problem, I know the slope is 2, and I'm also given a point that the line goes through, which is 3, negative 5. So I'm going to set up using the point slope form. I'm going to have y minus the y coordinate. Now y is negative 5, so y minus a negative 5 is the same thing as y plus 5 equals m is the slope, which is 2 in this case, and then in parentheses x minus the x coordinate, which in this case is 3, so x minus 3. And so what this does is it allows me just to get an equation, and so to actually get my final answer in slope-intercept form, we're just going to solve this equation for y. So I'll distribute the 2, and then I'll subtract 5. And so that's my final answer. Y equals 2x minus 11. Now if we go through another problem, in this case we're going to write the equation of a line that passes through points negative 4, 3 and 5, negative 1. Okay, and we're still working on slope-intercept form, so we're still going to try to get it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so as I said before in the first example, if you don't know the slope, the first thing you should do is find the slope, and that's what we need to do here. We don't know what the slope is, so we're going to use the slope formula. So negative 1 minus 3 over 5 minus a negative 4, which gives me negative 4 over 9. So now we know the slope, and I'm going to go back to using the point slope form that I went through on the previous example. And so from here, when I set it up, in this case I actually have 2 points that it goes through. And it doesn't matter which one you use, you're just going to use whichever one you think would be easiest. A lot of times it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to use the first point and plug those numbers in for x1 and y1. So I'll have y minus the y coordinate is 3 equals m, we now know the slope is negative 4/9, times x minus the x coordinate, which is negative 4. So x minus a negative 4 will be the same thing as x plus 4. And so again, to get it in slope-intercept form, I'm just going to get y by itself. So I'll need to start by distributing. So I'll have negative 4/9 x, and then negative 4/9 times 4 would be a negative 16/9. And then I'm just going to add 3. Okay. My answer is a fraction here, so kind of do the work over here. I'm going to take negative 16/9 plus 3, which is negative 16/9 plus 27 over 9, which is equal to 11 over 9. So my final answer is negative 4/9 plus 11/9.